What's up guys, back with another Twinmotion tutorial. I'm going to show you how I use Crea to enhance my characters in Twinmotion. Let's get right into the video. Okay, so now that we have our characters in the scene, if you're wondering where I found these characters, you would go to characters in your Twinmotion library here. And you have different options. You can use animated humans, which they got pretty good choices. You got groups you can use as well. And you can actually use posed humans, and you can choose whatever occasion that fits your scene. And you also got animals as well. But for this tutorial, I only used posed humans, and I selected some from healthcare, and I also selected more of a business casual, just because it fits the scene. So that was important. All right, so right now we're gonna go to medium and just kind of give you an idea of what the rendering looks like so far. And if you haven't seen my other video, check it out. I actually did this same scene in Twinmotion using the path tracer, so check that one out if you haven't seen that one. In this one, we're just going to cover how to use Crea, how to enhance our characters in Twinmotion. Guys, if you're liking this video so far, don't forget to smash that like button for me and hit the notification bell. Okay, so I'm gonna go to rendering, and I'm just gonna reduce my samples per pixel for this one, just so we can kind of, just for time's sake. So another thing that I will do while we're waiting for the path tracer is that I'm actually going to pull this into Affinity Photo as well. If you're not familiar with Affinity Photo, it's a post-production software just like a Photoshop or your other options that are out there. So just kind of want to give you a heads up that there will be some steps that I'll take, so stick around to the end to see the end results, which I think came out pretty good. And right now our rendering is finishing up, so you can start to see my characters that I use in Twinmotion, which they look fine, they look okay, but it doesn't look realistic. So that's when we're gonna use Crea to just enhance these characters to make them look more realistic for our scene. Okay, so now that our rendering has finished, we are going to go ahead and start the process of exporting our image. So we go to export, and we go to image, and we're going to choose render 3. Okay, so I forgot a step. All right, so you're learning this in real time. Let me back up. So before we actually export our image, I need to make sure, go to quit media. We need to make sure that our characters are part of a layer, which, okay, I did do it. So we do have our characters in layer ID enabled, number 1, and I put Chaz, this character, in the same layer enabled, and then number 1. Okay, so I did do it correctly. Just one of the steps that I forgot to mention, but make sure you go back and you put your characters on a layer. So once you have them on a layer, we got both our characters on layer 1. Now you will go to export, you can go to image here, details, and you want to make sure when you go to renders layer that you select layer 1, because those are the layers that we chose for our characters. So you're going to export as a mask. So Twinmotion is going to create your characters separately from your actual rendering and create them as a mask, which is pretty good option that I like, that Twinmotion actually offers. All right, so let's go to start export, and you're going to select your file, and you're going to export your file or export your rendering, and it's going to give you an estimated time. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just a little bit so you don't have to wait, and we'll go from there. So once you have saved or exported your renderings to a selected folder, you'll notice that Twinmotion will export your rendering and also your masking layer for our characters. So that's what we need, and you can rename them however you want to organize your files. But we're going to click on this, we're going to double click, and I'm going to open Affinity Photo because that is the software that I use currently. So now we are in Affinity Photo, and like I said, if you have Affinity Photo, great. If not, you can use Photoshop. You can pretty much use the same technique in any other post-production software that you have or use currently. There may be some slight differences, but don't let that stop you. Just try to follow along and see if you can get the same results that I did. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button for me and hit the notification bell. And if you have any comments, don't forget to leave a comment down below in the description box. All right, so right now we have our rendering up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pretty cool tool that Affinity Photo has. It's called Object Selection Tool. So as you can see, that allows me to select an object in my scene, and it's kind of a smart object. So it helps me cut corners so I won't have to spend a lot of time trying to select my scale figures. So as you can see, I could just select them that way. And I'm gonna zoom in, and you'll see that there are some spots that I missed and some spots that I need to clean up. But I'm going to clean it up by using another tool. So right now I just use this tool to select as much as I can. And here to clean it up, we're gonna go to the selection brush tool. So now that I do that, you can see that my object selection tool did not get all the small spaces that are a little challenging to capture. So I'm going to use the subtract, and I'm just going to select that. You can change the width of your pixel brush just to kind of, if you want to get larger areas or smaller. Right now I'm using 10. That's to get some of these small areas. All right, so let's see what else that we need to get. So as you can see that our object selection tool did a pretty good job, pretty decent job to select as much as the scale character as it could, but it did not get all the legs, as you can see. So what we'll do is we'll still use our selection brush tool, but we're going to subtract. No, sorry, we're going to add. All right, so let's kind of, we added way too much there, but that's okay, we'll fix it. So as you see, it just disappeared. So I will have to subtract this space again, and that's some of the, sometimes it comes with it, you have to make adjustments. So just kind of jumping over here to the male as well. Now I have to subtract this space. So subtract. So here I'm going to add, as you can see, some of his face has not been selected. Takes a little bit of patience, but we'll get there. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Alright, so it doesn't have to be completely perfect, but you don't want to have your scale character to miss, like you see these little fingers here. Just you want to make sure that it looks put together. So just kind of going around, kind of cleaning up just a little bit. Alright, I think I have the majority of my scale characters, so I can see a little bit of the lockers here. So we want to subtract that, and that subtracted too much. Alright, so that looks better. Okay, hopefully we got everything. I think we do. We kind of zoom out, and the next step, we're gonna go into Crea, but before we do that, we need to create a JPEG image out of our characters. So we're gonna go to File, and we're gonna go to New from Clipboard. So as you can see, I thought I selected everything, but I didn't get the leg, and got to clean up here. And this one looks pretty decent, but I'm going to clean this up real quick, and then we're going to go into Crea. Alright, so as you can see, I cleaned up the areas that were missing, and once you create your image, you want to do File and New from Clipboard, and your image should look like this. Okay, so now that we have our image set up, we are ready to go into Crea and enhance our characters separately from our rendering. Alright, so now you would go to Google, and of course you'll go to Crea.com, and you'll see their home page, and you just kind of see kind of the different options that Crea does offer. So typically what I do is I go to Enhance, and the photo that we created with the 2 character assets, you're supposed to export that as a JPEG. So once you do that, you're going to bring that JPEG, you can drag and drop, or you can go to your image. So we're going to go to our image, and here we go. So it's uploading, and now that we have our JPEG in, we have a couple options, and we can do 2 times, which you have to upgrade to get the Crea Pro. I don't have the Crea Pro. This is just a free version of it. So upscaling is active, and you got scene transfer, and you got different options you can do. So typically what I do is I kind of look through my prompt, just kind of see what my prompt says, and it pretty much just describes what is in our image, which is fine. I think that looks good. So you can make some adjustments to the strength, resemblance, clarity, and you can match the color. So for this one, I'm going to just keep it as is, and let's just see what we get. So we're going to click Enhance, and right now it takes a little bit of a minute, or this may take a few minutes. So we're just going to wait and see what results we get. All right, so that wasn't too long. So as you can see, it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to move that back So this is what it looks like in Twinmotion. Yeah, that doesn't look very good. So when you put it in Crea, and I'm sure if you pay for the advanced model, you probably get even more better results. But just kind of give you a gist of how to bring your layer, your scale figures, or your characters from out of Twinmotion into Crea and get these results. Guys, if you're liking this video, don't forget to smash that like button for me, hit the notification bell, and subscribe as well. All right, so now that you see our results, we can go ahead and just accept the results. We can download our image. So now what we'll do is we'll download our image from Crea, and then we're going to jump back into Affinity Photo, and then I'll show you how I was able to put our 3D scale figures into our rendering. All right guys, so now we are in Affinity Photo, and as you can see, I'm going with my rendering without the Twinmotion characters in them, and I actually have the Twinmotion characters here on a separate page, and I have Crea characters on a separate page, and I also have my masking layer that I exported out from Twinmotion, and I'm just going to use the masking layer as a just as a scaling point to help me scale my characters to this size, just so they can appear in my rendering the correct way. All right, so now that we have our rendering here, you can change the name, and I'm just gonna call it my rendering layer. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy and paste my layer into my rendering layer. All right, so now I will do Control or right click, copy. Then I would just do Control V. So now I have my background here. We're gonna name that our masking layer. All right. So we have our masking layer here as well. All right, just kind of setting up. So now that we have those, another thing that we need to take in consideration is that our Crea image is not the same size as our Twinmotion image. So we want our Crea image to be the same size as our Twinmotion image. So the way to do that is we're going to go to Document. We're going to go to Resize Document, just so we can see the size of our Twinmotion page for our characters. So we have 798 pixel, 1377 pixel. All right, so that's what we want our Crea image to be. So we want to keep that in mind, 798, 1377. Okay, so let's go to our Crea image. We'll go to Document, and we're going to go to Resize Document. So as you can see, we have different sizes. So I believe it was 798 and 1377. Maybe a little off on that. I'm gonna go to Resize. We can make some adjustments. Let me double check. Document, Resize Document. So 798, 1377. Okay. Document. Okay. That's what I know. I had it. 798. Then we need to hit our chain here. We do 1377. Okay, so that locks us in place, keeps us there. All right, now we're going to resize it. So now our Crea document should be the same size as our Twinmotion document. And the reason why we're doing that is that when we'll copy and paste our Crea document into our masking layer to help resize it, then we're going to hide the masking layer behind our actual rendering. Sorry if I'm clicking everywhere. All right, let's give it a try. Guys, if you're liking this video, don't forget to hit the like button for me and also hit the notification bell and subscribe as well. All right, so we may have to clean up some things here. Let's take our image first, Control C, and we're going to paste here. Okay, let's see what happened to our, okay, here we are. So our image is here. I really wanted that to be in the masking layer. Let's see. Delete that. All right, let's start over. So we're here in our rendering layer. Let's go to our masking layer. There we are. All right, so now that I've copy and paste my image here in the masking layer, and guys, just a reminder, this is how I do it. I'm pretty sure there's other ways you can do this, probably simpler ways you can do this, but this is a way that worked for me. And guys, if you know any other way, don't be afraid to drop a comment in the description box and let me know your thoughts. All right, so here I'm going to hover over my silhouettes, and we're going to play around with opacity just so we can see our silhouettes here, and we can kind of line up our Crea image here. So you're going to line it up the best way you can, and just kind of so what I'm seeing here is our image looks like it's too big. It's not lining up with our masking layer. So let's cut that. I'll go back to my character Crea image here. Let's just check our sizes again. Okay, so the size should be correct. Our image should be fine. Okay. That looks better. I'm not sure what happened the first time. Maybe I accidentally changed the size of it. Okay, so now that we have our Crea image and our masking layer overlapping, this is spot on pretty much, and that's where I want it. So now what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna change my opacity back to 100%. All right. So just to kind of, let's go back to our rendering here. Let's paste. So now we're pasting it back into our actual rendering image. So as you can see, if I will go ahead and hide the masking layer, you can see that we have our image for Crea right in place, which looks good. So the only obstacle now is that we have this white background, and we want to get rid of that white background. So let's go back to our layers, and we're going to go back to our smart object selection tool, which is like an AI tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this background here, and let's see if we can select a couple other areas we want to subtract. Okay, so I'm gonna do it there. Okay, so let's see how it turns out. Just cleaning up just a couple things. All right. So now I'm going to hit delete. So now my background is gone. So now we're going to hide our masking layer. And as you can see, we have our image looking pretty good. So we're going to go to select, deselect. All right. So that's how you get your Crea characters into your renderings to kind of give that character more of a realistic look. I've seen it done different ways, but this is how I've done it. And you may have to go back and clean up some areas, but that's okay. I can see a white spot here, but that's cool. We can, always fix that. So guys, if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button for me. And I hope you learned something today, and we'll be back with another one.